Hi, I'm Brendan Mills from CFO Dynamics, and in today's video, I want to take you through the process for how to make large and ongoing adjustments in the system rather than having to do one by one adjustments in different screens. And this is referred to as the quick insert functionality within Exo. So one thing I want to say first before we get into this is actually, you might laugh at the wording I choose, this is actually a very dangerous part of the system. If you screw up something within this part of the system, it has the potential consequences to change so many things within your database that might not be very constructive and be very destructive. But on the flip side, if used properly and if the control of that is harnessed appropriately, you can actually do some very powerful things in the system by using the quick insert functionality. Let me give you an example. So if I go into my maintain debtors section in here and I go Aussie Spare Parts, and Aussie Spare Parts change their name to whatever they want to change it to, that changes, I have to go in there and manually type it. If we want to do a large change with our primary groups, if we want to change our primary groups to, instead of being trade, retail, and foreign, but we want to add 5 or 6 other groups into there, well, rather than having to click through each one and changing them to the different groups, as I'm doing here, you can actually do them en masse in the quick insert functionality, which I'm going to share with you today. So in other videos, I'm going to go through in more detail how to actually change, debtors, creditors, stock via quick insert. But at the same time, we can also show you how to do them as one by one or an overview of the quick insert functionality. So as I mentioned before, it's a dangerous area of the system, but also a powerful one at the same time. You'll find it under Utilities, Advanced Configuration, and Exo Business Essentials Configurator. Now, the thing I want to be at pains to mention is you might not even have access to this. Very few people within your business will have access to it. But to be frank, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Few hands, few people touching this area, the better. So if I go into the configurator, and what I'm going to do is go into Utilities, Quick Insert, and under Quick Insert will be Templates. And you'll see all the different templates that are in here. Now, what you'll find in your database is you'll have more than likely a lot more templates, and this will relate to when you first got the system set up, and also other adjustments that your Exo partner might have done over the period of time to get this information up to speed within the system. This is the functionality that they use. So this is the test database. Now, one of the downsides of the test database, and this will make sense in a moment, is I can't actually do any additional adjustment. So you'll see some errors in a moment which will come up, but that is because they obviously don't want people getting test databases and working out how to actually do it all themselves. So we can do the proverbial 99% without it. We wouldn't be able to save it. So in here, if I go new, now the template file, I can call whatever I want. So I can call this debtors, for example. And then it comes up with all the table names. Now, the table names is a fancy way of saying these are all the areas in Exo. So these screens over here, all these buttons and functionalities that I can change en masse. So if I go back to the configurator, and fortunately with the way this is typed out or the way it's designed is that a lot of it is self-explanatory. So you can learn a lot of this yourself, and this is how I actually learned this process specifically as well, is looking in here and learning enough to know what you need to know. So DR, so debtors, and then accounts. So if I select that, it comes up with all the potential fields that you could have for your debtors in your accounts. So it's got account number all the way down through to geocode status. A lot of these things, sorry, before I go to the next step, a lot of these things you may not even necessarily require. But let's say you wanted to create an adjustment to your debtors. You can either hit add all, and that will bring all of these unselected columns across here into your template, or you can delete them all, bring them back. But what I'll do first was I'll add all, and then I'll just remove a few of those items, which wouldn't necessarily be items that you need. So all you need to do is just highlight the ones you don't need and delete them. So you're not actually deleting them off the system, you're just deleting them off your quick insert tab. If you add, if you have a field in there which you do not know what it is, in the next video I'll show you how to actually, when we do debtors, creditors, and stock, I'll actually show you how to work out through just following common sense, how to work out which is which and using the data in the system to your advantage. But if I delete these columns off here and they already have data in the system, all we're doing is removing them from the template. We are not actually removing them from the system. So I'm at real pains to mention that you're not going to hurt anything within the system by changes in here. So I'm just going to scroll to the top. Account number. Now the system works with what they call unique identifiers. And what a unique identifier is it's a field that can't be replicated. So for example, it could be a stock code. So you can't have multiples of the exact same stock code in the system. Account numbers, whether it's debtor or creditor account numbers, you can not have multiples of the same one. If, for example, we want to change account number 13 from name XYZ to ABC, well, we can do that, but we can't change the account number itself. So if I go and save this, which it won't let me, now this is the error because, as I said before, it's locked down so that we can't create our own real business database, which is understandable. But this is the format that you would need. Now, if I cancel out of here and go into debtors accounts, which is how they've set up their database, it has a certain fields and a few here they haven't included as well, which is no issues. How you can see it is then go preview. And within that preview, you can actually see all the fields that are within the system. So for example, I can actually start typing away over the top of these. And if I do that, that'll actually let me make the changes for those fields if I wish. So let's say Owen Denton has changed his name to Owen Smith. I can save that. Or if this address for car dealers and traders is now in, let's say it's in Redfern, I can change that as well. So I'll show you those in the database right now. So if I save that, those changes are going to flow right through to the system. So if I close out of here, close out of the advanced configurator. Sorry, that won't let me save the template for those reasons that I mentioned before. So if I go into debtors, and what I need to do is look for car dealers and traders. If I double click on that, you can see now they're in Redfern and also Smith, Owen Smith. He is now Owen Smith as opposed to whatever he was before. I don't recall what his original surname was. Anyway, beside the point, the main thing is that this has now changed these items in the account. So it's a very powerful thing to change multiple areas within your system. So that's a brief overview of how quick inserts work, and I'm going to show you how to actually do those for debtors, creditors, and stock in the upcoming videos. Hope you enjoyed this. If there's any other topics that you'd like to see on the website but currently aren't there, let us know. And plus, if you need help with making this happen in your system, let us know and we'll be more than happy to help.